In a society that has done a great deal of evolving throughout the decades, there are still issues, such as police brutality. Police brutality has been an issue for as long as the police force has been around. The brutality is not an officer that is doing their job. It is an officer that is untrained and chooses to ignore or does not know the correct way to react in certain situations. One in every 1,000 African American men are expected to be killed by police. This should not be only specified to African American men. This should be specified to men in general. There should not be one specific quota or point for one race. There has been little to no acknowledgement of the brutality, but as I pointed out, the evolution has brought us ways for people to make their voices heard, such as social media. With the creation of social media, police brutality is being pinpointed and making officers responsible for their actions. Police brutality can be avoided if officers that have been caught get harsher repercussions. For example, instead of a slap on the wrist. For example, the officers that killed Breonna Taylor only got terminated for killing a woman in her sleep. But in any other circumstance, there would have been a harsher punishment. We should not be holding officers that have committed deadly crimes to on a certain level, but other people to another level. There needs to be a more in-depth look into what the people that we are allowing onto the police force. There should be a look into who they believe, who they follow, what their beliefs are, because that can really decide whether or not a person is the right person for the force. Because there are a lot of issues with people joining the force but having racial problems, which causes these police brutality issues. A big problem with that is because there are people that make their beliefs very known. And yes, these people want to join the force, but they are also the people that can cause problems. And so another solution would be to have people go through anger management courses so that in situations we know how to so that they know how to act correctly. For instance, they know how they're taught in the academy, but the problem is we are only learning the academy and people don't have outside ways to calm themselves. So we know if this person isn't reacting correctly, you do this. But there are steps that can be taken before you do this, before going too far. A big problem with the anger management classes is that people in the academy have to go through 800 hours of classes before they can graduate. And with anger management classes and the in-depth look into the people that we are allowing onto the task force, it lengthens that time, and there is going to be a bigger gap in the people that we are having on our force. There will be a bigger gap between the older and the younger officers. But we need to do it before something else happens, before another officer does something, and then it's a trigger like, hey, we need to fix this. Police brutality can be completely avoided if there are ways for them to learn the correct way to act with people. And the police brutality issue can be completely ignored by there being more interaction with the officers before the issue arises. Thank you.